Am I, 20F, wrong for breaking up with boyfriend, 26M, of 1 year, for making me wait 30 minutes? Should I apologize and get back together? I had asked my boyfriend if he wanted to get something to eat. He told me to meet him at X spot in the university campus from where we could go together to some place. We both reached the spot on time. Just as we were about to leave together, a classmate of his jogged up to him and asked for a minute. I stepped away and let them talk. They were discussing about some guy things, some fight that had occurred 2 nights ago, nothing serious or urgent. I was standing, with a bag full of books over my shoulder, in the humid heat for 30 minutes. And he never once even glanced at me to say something along the lines of "just a sec babe" or "you go ahead, I'll catch up" or anything. He just kept on talking, not even acknowledging that I was standing 5 steps away waiting for him to finish. Ultimately I decided I had waited enough and started walking away. He ran after me and said sorry. He just kept going on and on. "Where we going?" I said I was going home, wasn't even hungry anymore, and just kept walking away. He then called me and demanded why I was getting so pissed over such a small thing, and that he has also waited for me when I took too long to get ready to go out. I told him that in fact I had waited for him several times too, but this was not the same. Just yesterday we had a little argument and I had told him that whenever someone else comes around he completely forgets about me. He said that I had a problem with him talking to his friends. I said that's not the case. I just want to be a priority to him. We got into a heated argument and I broke up with him even though he didn't want to. He texted me that it was very illogical of me to be breaking up over such a small thing. I blocked him after that, but he has kept trying to call me all day. TLDR, he made me wait 30 minutes, because he was having a conversation with someone. I broke up because of it. He is trying to reach me. Should I apologize and get back together with him? Voxofcalates. This could go both ways honestly. Could it be his fault? You bet. It seems he didn't interrupt his friend to let them know that he was on his way to lunch with you and that he would love to catch up later because he already has plans with you. Could it be your fault? Sure. You left his side so he was stuck in a conversation with a chatty person who he couldn't politely get away from. If you had remained by his side, which would have been the normal response in that situation, you may have recognized he was trying to get away but he couldn't find a way how, and you could have politely interjected that you both have an important event to get to. Sounds like breaking up is for the best, but I'm not sure you get to blame it on him any more than on yourself. Happy summer breeze. That's not in line with cultural norms. It was clear that she wasn't even on his radar as someone he had to care about. He showed her less courtesy that he would likely have shown anyone else. For example, he didn't make his friend wait ignored. You can see the disregard for cultural norms by imaging it with someone unarguably important. For example, if he had been walking to the library with the dean of students and his friend came up, do you honestly think he would ignore the dean for any length of time while he chatted with his friend? We know he wouldn't. He would say, "Excuse me, dean, this won't take a second," and keep it brief, or he would make an appointment with the friend, or he would say, "I'm sorry, dean, could I catch up to you in the library please?" No way would he expect an important person like to the dean stand there waiting on his pleasure, nor would he expect the dean to use his words. The boyfriend and you are both demonstrating the view that Up is not an important person, so she needs to wait on the boyfriend's pleasure and use her words when she isn't being treated with the cultural baseline respect that anyone should expect. Stingray03. Honestly, you told him the day before that it bothers you for him to completely forget about you. Which sounds like happens a lot, and he blew off your concern instead of trying to tackle that problem with you and find a solution that works for both of you. He didn't even try to understand your point, and I'm not sure if you would have had he bothered to explain that he'd like for his friends to remain a priority too. Miscommunication happens, and it's not only your fault. I think this particular instance just showed you that it's clicked that you will not be happy in this relationship long term, and there isn't anything wrong with that. You aren't obligated to get back together with anyone unless you're absolutely sure it's what you want to do. You could even just wait a while, take a break and reconsider everything, and come back to the discussion with a fresh mind. I don't think you're wrong to do this, because everyone has a final straw in a relationship and this just happened to be yours. Demosthenes Wigan. Reading the comments and given your history, I would say no. You are not wrong. It's not like it was a very critically important conversation he has to have with the other guy. He was compromised with you, and instead of telling his friends sorry, I'm busy right now. Can we talk later? Or I'll call you back, later. He just ignored that you were there, like nothing was happening. To make matters worse, you had an argument about the same attitude the night before and he brushed it off? No, girl. Your time matters. He won't give you your time back. Better he respects it or go and find someone else to disrespect. Holiday_doc_1995. I'm going to go against the grain and say it's good you broke up with him and he is in the wrong here. Yes, you could have said something, but honestly you shouldn't have to remind him that you are standing there, especially when you have books in your hand and are on your way to get dinner. Plus, when you got fed up and left, he should have given you a sincere apology when he caught up to you. He was rude and left you hanging and should have been apologetic instead of dismissive. You were already on the fence about being with him, and it's fine to just cut your losses rather than put a large amount of effort into reconciling something you aren't into in the first place. Spud Soup. To me, it sounds like this was just your last straw. The way you handled it was very immature. Especially if it's been an ongoing issue. Why hadn't you brought it up before? I used to do the same thing in the store or out in public. I work at a school and it's very common for me to run into students and other teachers, and especially with the other teachers, we'll end up having long conversations. It annoyed my partner who had to stand around and wait for me. It's not out of malice or lack of care for your partner. You should have brought this up if it bothered you so much. Yes, it's annoying, but it's a problem that's easily solved with a discussion. Boring_@3380. Yes, definitely. You shouldn't even be with him after your last post, and if that's how you feel, you should tell him or show him your post if that's easier. You're just holding him back from someone who thinks he's their type and actually want to be with him. Seems like you were waiting for an excuse, and now that you already took it, the reality of being alone has set in and you're trying to backpedal. Best to just move on and work on yourself. Lost Jackfruit 3631. I think you're overreacting. You could have gone up to him and said, hey, it seems like you need more time to catch up. I might just run home quick and grab something to eat because I'm hot and hungry. Or just go up to him and give a gentle tap. The other person should realize they need to wrap up the conversation. But standing there in misery just didn't need to happen. It doesn't sound like he always puts you on the back burner, but it does sound like you need a lot of attention. X. So I read the comments. If you did do another post wanting to break up with him BCS he's not your type, then just do it. It's better for both of you. Communication is key to any relationship. If you want the relationship to actually work, then do this and tell him how you feel. Now if you're just in a relationship BCS, you're bored or just want a BF, well, I got news for you, it usually never works out and you both end up really hurting each other. I have done both of these before, which is why I'm telling ya. Just know you deserve someone who meets your standards. And he deserves someone who actually wants him. So basically just break up and find someone else.